This is your Pain Game podcast, where we talk about the game of living in and with chronic pain and trauma, getting to the heart of how to heal. I am your host, Lyndsay Soprano. On this show, I plan on discussing with doctors, chronic pain patients, holistic practitioners, loved ones, and anybody that is interested in having their voice heard in the chronic pain and trauma world that we live in. We all have bad habits in life, right? I mean, I could list 100 bad habits of mine right now, but we don't have that kind of time today. I have found that breaking up with bad habits is extremely challenging, especially when you're like in your 40s and 50s, where you're already like ingrained in all of the stupid things you did when you were a kid and then into high school and college or wherever you went in life. We all end up getting a little bit of banged up by our bad habits, right? And as we get older, as we continue to do those bad habits, they're extremely challenging to break. And these bad habits do end up holding us back from our true selves, in my opinion. But we don't have to be stuck in these habits anymore because of my guest today. So without further ado, I would like to introduce you to my guest today, Ronnie Loaiza. Hello, darling.
Hi, Lyndsay.
Hi. Oh my goodness. Ronnie is a master certified professional life coach, certified habit coach, certified personal trainer as a midlifer with her clients. She helps people create easy, guys, and doable habits that help them in their daily goals. Like, how do we navigate illness, chronic fatigue, pain, while staying on top of your game, right? Welcome to the Pain Game podcast, right? We have to play the game, right? And we do it all the time. And it's exhausting. And I'm tired of being tired. And I'm sure you guys are as well. And that's why we've got Ronnie here today. So sign me up for navigating through all of that. I'd like to start talking about your definition of habits and why they are such an important aspect of our self-care in our lives. And then let's kind of take it from there.
God, I could talk about this for hours, but I know we don't have that much time. But a habit is what you consistently do on a daily basis, what you consistently do all the time without thinking about it, coming from your subconscious, is a habit. And all the meta studies show, the research shows, we're going to get all geeky here, but it's true. The meta studies show that 40 to 50% of all of our days, each one of us without fail, are driven by habits. It's just a series of habits. So nearly half our day are our habits. That's really driving our days. It's driving our lives. And it's so hard when you're having a great day and nothing's wrong and you're feeling energetic and everything is on schedule. Yeah, right. When was that last time? But then when things get like mud gets thrown on your windshield, how the heck are you supposed to keep up with your habits? It's the basic habits, the core habits, the good ones that will keep you going even when all crap hits the fan.
Yeah. And I mean, for me, I think about how habitual I am as a person. Like, up until fairly recently, when chronic illness and chronic pain really kind of started to take over my life instead of me taking it over, which is where we've shifted now. But I mean, I had created habits that I didn't even know that I was doing, just like you're talking about. It's subconscious. We don't even realize the things that we're doing. I do this every single morning. We walk through the routines. We've got your dogs. Everyone's throwing dishes in the sink. I mean, whatever it is, it's all habits. We all get used to them. But what I find is I get bogged down in some of my habits big time. And a lot of it is my OCD and my cleaning and my organizing. It takes me forever to get started in the morning, just setting aside my pain, because that's part of it. But a lot of it is I go through the house multiple times all morning long to make sure everything is just so before I can begin my day. And it gets in the way of my productivity, even though I look like I'm being super productive.
Busy productive, because you're doing stuff that is good for the house. It's good for your psyche. It's also calming you. You get something out of a habit.
For me, that is the anxiety part of it for me. Waking up and getting everything kind of in its place helps me with anxiety. That's just kind of been my gig.
You know, we all say good habit, bad habit. You know, I'm going to take that out of there. When I coach with people, it's not good or bad. It's just a fact. It's a habit. But you deem it. You're the one that decides it's a bad habit, not society, not your mom, not your partner. If you know deep down in your core, this habit is bad for me, then you know it is. And so you decide if it's a negative habit, a not serving habit, however you want to name it. But bad habits and good habits and everything in between, they reward your brain. So you do it for a reason, because you might say, well, I do this, but I don't mean to, or, it's not serving me. So it's, how can it be giving me something? It's giving you something. That's why you're doing it. You're used to it. And your brain only wants what you're used to. Your brain doesn't know any better from our caveman days. If you go off your norm, and that's your norm, Lyndsay, if you go off your norm, then the brain goes, danger. This is not normal. And
Right.
so it wants to veer you back to get whatever it is you get out of it, even if you don't like it after you do. Let's say you have a bad habit. You don't have a bad habit. You're just busy. And then you're like, I could have been more productive. Well, you keep telling yourself that. And you can change some things, and you can start tweaking them and sort of evolving from them. But even a bad habit that people don't like themselves for right afterwards, they call it an addiction, but let's say it's not an addiction, it's just a habit. You're still getting something out of it. So that's what we explore in coaching. Well, what are you getting out of it? And it doesn't take that long. It doesn't take years of therapy. You know what you're getting out of it, whether it's a sense of calm, a sense of peace, dopamine, the instant reward, whatever it is, you're getting something out of it. So how I start with people is reward yourself. Reward yourself for whatever little tiny action you do. And that was the part you were saying, easy and doable.
Yeah.
When people, and stop me when you want to stop me, because I could ramble, but when people want to start a new action, I call it a new behavior, I really have to rein them in. Like, whoa, Bessie, slow down. Pick one. We come up with like 10 ideas of small behaviors that will drive them to a habit. So you don't pick your habit right away. It becomes a habit, because how it becomes a habit is repetition. I mean, you were born out of your mommy's womb knowing how to brush your teeth. You were taught repetition. Same with tying your shoe. Same, I'm going to get gross, wiping after you go to the bathroom. I mean, that becomes a habit you don't think about because you were taught. You didn't, whatever it is. Yeah. So we come up with ideas. You come up with the ideas if you're being coached. And then we pick from that. And almost everybody without fail always picks like, well, I can do 4 or 5 of these. No. That's just it. When we go to a lot of programs and plans and diets and all of this, we get all this great information, all these great hacks, and we put them under our arms, and we're ready to take off, and we're going to start implementing all of them, and then they all slip out from under your arm. It's too much. Your brain is not used to it. As smart as you are and as a go-getter as you are, it's too much. So you pick one tiny out of all those, and you pick like what's doable realistically for you when you're at your lowest, when you're either depressed, lethargic, feeling ill, not in the mood. Your partners get in the way, your family gets in the way, the dog gets sick, business wants more. What you can do at the minimum, that's what we pick. And we work on it repetitively. And then we also pick your reward. It's got to be an instant reward, not the long-term goal, not the long-term trophy. You have to reward yourself every single little time.
Well, and I like that because, I like that you brought up diets and all the fad diets, all of this, all of that, all keto and paleo and this, that, and the other thing. We all jump on the bandwagon all of the time. I certainly know I've jumped on a lot of different wagons, and I've fallen off of a bunch of wagons as well. But you had mentioned therapy when you were just speaking. And I know that there's a difference for all of us in the type of therapy that we get in our lives. But for you, there's something in particular where you talk about in your practice, coaching versus therapy. Can you talk a little bit on that? Because there is a difference. And I would love for you to share what your thoughts are on it.
That's the hardest thing for me to talk about, because I'm like, well, this is not as articulate, but I know it. It's one of those things like porn. You know it when you see it. You know what I mean? You know it when you experience it. Not that I'm an expert
Ronnie,
in porn, but
I'm my own porn star. I don't need to watch it.
Who said that in the first place? Somebody said that. I think somebody said that. So, but therapy really is basically when you go back and you explore. And there's a lot of things that sound the same, but when therapy, you have to get it out from in your soul, from in your core, whatever you believe in, and express it. It's got to get out of you. And people go back and they can spend years on therapy. And what they want to do is talk. That's talk therapy. There's cognitive behavioral therapy, which is sort of like habit therapy, because mine is all cognitive behavior. But therapy is a lot of, and I'm generalizing and broad brushing here, is a lot of going back to see why and trying to analyze why, and a lot of getting it out of you. And then if you continue with therapy, it's because you don't want to talk about it, and you don't want to talk about it with your partner or whoever every day. I mean, there's only so much that your friends can do. Plus, friends are subjective. therapists and coaches and counselors, we're supposed to be objective, but for the most part, family loves you. They're biased, even if they say they're not. Your friends love you. They have a bias. We all have a bias. If we have kids, we're going to be biased as objective as we want to be as parents. So therapy is more of the background. Coaching is we already know where you are and we decide on your goal and we start working toward it progressively. And a lot of my clients, and I was told this as I started training, that to be a coach, a lot of coaches complement their people's psychologists and psychiatrists and therapists. And a lot of therapists have become smart and become coaches. And a lot of therapists welcome coaches because we complement each other.
Yeah, that's great. Because, you hear people say, like, I've got my life coach. You're like, oh, come on. Really? You need a life coach? Yes. We all need a life coach. We don't know what the hell we're doing around here. And
a coach is not somebody that kicks you in the butt, goes, go, 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 go. I would hate that. It really isn't. I don't believe in this just do it stuff. I really don't. Just like when I was a personal trainer, and I still am for a select few, I do not believe no pain, no gain. That's bullshit. Sorry, I'm cussing. But you don't need to have pain.
Yeah. I mean, it's nuts in that regard.
That's why I say you need rewards and to start learning how to reward yourself. I just had a lady yesterday who I was coaching. I'm protecting confidentiality, but she's an example of many of my clients. She was putting in what fulfills her because she's starting to work on her career, which is what she came to me for, and habits toward, I don't know where to start. She's 63 and she wants to start a new career. Things happened in her health. And just like a lot of people, they come to me for one thing and we end up working on various aspects of their lives, their relationships, their health, their fitness, all of this. So we really dealt with her health for 2 months because she had to take care of that. But when we started working on what fulfills you, list a number of times or when you can recall what makes you feel fulfilled, whatever that means for you. And a lot of it was she liked when people are content with what I did something. I like it when people, when people feel helped, when I have helped them. A lot of it was when people approve of her or like what she did, or it involved a lot of other people. I'm like, all right, do you like carrying out a plan? And do you like it when it all comes together? And she was like, well, yeah. Why? Well, because it makes people happy. Are you happy? If nobody knew you did it, if the tree fell in the forest and you were the only one that pushed it, would you be happy? And it took a lot of that for her. And she almost started crying. And I'm like, cry if you want to. She's like, I don't know what feels fulfilled. It always seems to involve people approving of me. Well, hell, we have to find what makes you feel fulfilled alone. And you got to start rewarding yourself and lauding yourself because only you really know. I don't know. I'm not your guru. No therapist is your guru. And run if you find a guru type. You know deep down, and that's what we do. We pull it out of you. You pull it out of you.
Well, and that's wonderful. When we're talking about, like, for example, today I'm going out of my comfort zone today because my birthday was a couple weeks ago and it was Mother's Day. And so I got my mom a gift certificate to go to this new day spa thing that we just found. Anyways, I never do that kind of self-care for myself because what I will do, and I know this within myself, and I'm going to walk in with a totally different mindset because I have to shift it when I walk in the door, is I am already done with the massage, done with the day spa, done with the relaxation before I even walk in. And I know that habitually about myself. And I know that I will almost ruin it because I am out of my comfort zone. And because I don't do a lot of self-care like I should. And this was one thing that I needed to do for myself and for my mom. But it was a reward for all of these things that I said. As soon as I did all of this and I got this done, I was going to do this. And I don't even know if that makes any sense to you. But
it does.
But habit-wise, that example is exactly what I do all of the time. I'm always worried or prepped or I've got to get done with this before I can even enjoy something. And it's kept me away from enjoying some really awesome experiences in my life over my entire life because of that exact mindset. It's weird.
I invite you to, I'm not coaching you now, but a little bit. I invite you to, as you're driving there, even as you're grabbing your keys, if you're excited, like, yeah, I'm going to go get a massage and I'm going to spend time with my mom. Yeah, sure. Your truth. That's become the phrase. But say whatever's true to you. If you don't feel excited, you're already feeling like I got so much to do on Friday and I want to get this over with, even though I know I'm going to have a time, all that chatter.
Right.
Say whatever is true to you. If you literally say, I am going now. And that's it. Because that's the truth. I am going now. And I don't want to go, or I have some resistance and I'm going anyway. Don't say but, say and I'm going anyway as you're walking out the door. As you walk into that spa, I resisted this, or I'm feeling more resistance, and I'm doing it anyway. Look at me.
Yeah. And this is a complete first world problem, by the way. Here I am going, oh my goodness, I have to go to a day spa today. No, the point is I never do it. And so it makes me very uncomfortable. And one of the things that I'm doing it for is to challenge myself to not be so scared of taking care of me in all of these different areas of my world. I'm great in some. These particular areas, like going and getting a facial, or even just going and having lunch with a girlfriend, I end up like sabotaging it before I could even do it. And I don't know where that comes from outside of trauma for a billion years, but that deep rooted thing keeps me, that habit of mine is my worst habit. But you give me hope as far as all of your easy steps, your easy doable. You give me hope in so many ways in order to work through that habit and create a different mindset, get rid of that noise and add different noise in. I don't want a punk rock band in my head. I need some classical music right now.
But the first thing is say, I'm hearing that noise and I'm doing it anyway. Yeah. I don't feel like going and I'm here anyway, But think about it, Lyndsay. And this is, like you said, it's a first world problem. Yes, it is, but it's real. It's your problem. It's real.
Yeah.
But what about women who, I have dealt with this, and that's why I reached out to you. And I told you when we first met, I was so scared to reach out to you because when people look at me, they would never, especially with the energy I have all day, I push and I push and I push myself. They would never, ever know that I have chronic pain 24/7.
Yeah, me neither.
Even when I sleep, when I wake up to go pee, my pain's there. But I reach out to you because I started helping people and people started talking to me about this. And it's like, I shared this with you. I realized I relate to people and they got it. It's like, oh my God, somebody understands. I'm like, don't you wish you could go to the doctor and hook up something on the exact spot where you hurt? Because you can't really explain it when you go to the doctor and they're like, well, where does it hurt? You're kind of around the area, but you know where it is. Don't you wish you could put it on the doctor and put it on yourself so they could feel your pain? Because you don't know how to explain it. And they're like, yes. So imagine back to habits when all of a sudden you have to do all these things you don't freaking want to do, like take 12 medications or you have to work out even though you don't want to, whatever it is. You got to start small with one tiny action, not even a habit that will at least get you through. And the self-talk starts with, it can be, I hate this and I'm doing it anyway. Look at me and say it out loud, because when your brain hears it, it's sort of like the feedback from your earphones and the speaker. Your brain hears it. Our brains are computers. It will go noted. And you're doing it anyway. Noted. You're capable.
We're going to file that in that folder and we're going to keep it there. We can access that later, but it's not at the forefront of your mind right now. And it's not like I'm not excited to go down and do this today, but it's just one of those things. I woke up this morning going, why do I feel anxious right now? And then I identified what it is, because it's kept me away from all of these other things in my life that would have been amazing if I had done. Yeah.
Well, that's your mindset. That's how you reset your mind. You said your mindset. Well, we're setting our mind. It's your habitual way of thinking. Yeah. And we can change a lot of our habitual way of thinking. You said something in the beginning, and I'm paraphrasing now, but it was about how you're in the habit of, I'm going to say expressing yourself, but a way of doing things. We also have a habit of relating to different people in different ways. We are in the habit of relating to a certain person way differently than we do another person. So we also have ways of expressing ourselves, our habitual way. We're in the habit of expressing ourselves in certain ways. We express ourselves way differently in certain family dynamics than we do at work or with our doctor.
Oh, for sure.
Really powerful, smart women. We're mostly talking about women here, but men too. Men just don't talk to their doctors. They just go, hey, bud, how's it going? Fine. But for the most part, these great women, powerful, smart, intelligent, go to the doctors and I'll go, okay, how'd it go? What they say they want to share with me. Fine that he said this. Well, why? I don't know. They don't ask why. I'm not saying be a Karen. No offense to Karen's my best friend in high school if it was Karen. but you know what I mean? It's like, no, don't go to WebMD and ask all these ridiculous questions. But yes, ask all the questions that you have. And when they tell you about take this medicine or do this, you might want to do that. Or I think this, ask your doctor why. Why? Because you have the right and the responsibility to yourself to know why and get the best, clearest explanation you can. And if they don't want to give you a clear explanation, get a second opinion. get a third opinion. Your entire team, your massage therapist, your chiropractor, your holistic worker, your nutritionist, your functional medicine doctor, whoever it is, they are your team. Make them your team.
Yeah, for sure. And putting together a team of geniuses for your life and your health and your well-being is no easy feat to find the right people. I've been on this journey for almost 8 years now, and I've seen so many doctors. I'm blue in the face, and that ends up getting to that place, especially when you're chronically ill and all of that stuff. But you've got some methodology in your work. And I would like to talk a little bit about that and how we can talk about your methodology, your 3 pillars of it, and how crucial that is to your work with your clients.
So here's the thing. And this is an instant mindset change. I didn't come up with it. It's so old and so ancient, but people forget or don't really know about it. Okay. When you have a habitual way of acting, okay, how you react to somebody at work or whatever it is, you react or you act because of an emotion. We all have an emotion, even if it's a split second. So, stop yourself. Take a beat. What emotion am I feeling? And there are 5 basic emotions and then little sub-emotions under it. There's joy, despair, anger, fear, and doubt. Doubt is not fear. It is not. You can doubt something and not be fearful of it. You can doubt. Okay. Yeah, I doubt that. And you have no fear. So it's doubt. Doubt, sadness, despair, anger, and joy. Now, out of joy, that doesn't necessarily mean happy, joy. There can be content, peaceful, happy, at rest, whatever it is. A lot of little things come under that. And a lot of times the fear and the sadness are subsets, but sometimes it's just sadness, no fear. Okay. So notice what you're feeling and put it under one of those. What thought made you feel that way? Even if you don't think there was a thought, there has to be a thought. You're a human being with a computer brain and had a thought, even in this lightning speed thought that provoked that feeling. That's kind of therapy, but in 2 seconds. What did I think this? Neutralize it. Your brain looks for that one nugget of doubt that you doubt yourself and looks for evidence to prove to you, even that one little sand of doubt, that doubt is right. So tell yourself whatever is the truth. In other words, you change that emotion. Ask yourself, is that thought 100% true? Is that an absolute fact? Most of the time, it's not. Okay. And now if it is, yay, you have to act on that fear or that doubt or whatever. But if it's not 100% true, change your thought, even if it's just a neutral thought.
Yeah. And all of those through tiny little decisions that we can make throughout our days, which yield huge results. They do. I've watched it within myself where I changed one little thing or I added a new habit. I added something new. And over the past couple of months, we dipped into like some pretty dark and dirty places in order to pull out so much junk out of my body. I was on this mission. Well, I am on this mission to heal myself, as you guys all know. And it's exhausting to do that. When you bring on, I'd like to move into a little bit about talking how you work with your clients. Then following with that, how we can find you.
I like to say it will be custom tailored to you, but it really is. We get to know you. Mm-hmm. You just share with me what you want to share. And I am really good at pulling things out and getting you to self-reflect. But we just get to know each other. You have a feel for me, my vibe, I suppose, your vibe, because people have to feel comfortable. And whatever it is you come to me, and a lot of people come to me at first with not knowing where they want to begin.
Yeah.
And so with many people, I give them homework. I'm like, do these 12 facets of your life. Where are you now? And where would you, not goals, not like in 5 years, I want to have $10 million or whatever, but how would you like it to be? So where is it now? Social, spiritual, or religious, financial, health and fitness, 12 facets of your life, career, all of this stuff, family, parenting. So you feel that even if you're not a parent, people have thought of like their kid, their best friend's kids, or they're a godparent. But you feel it all out.
My nephew is living with us right now. I'm his guardian right now. It's a completely new thing that hopped into our world.
And it's funny how, and some people even put their pets. So you fill out the 12 facets of your life. And at first it's like, oh, this is a little much, but then it's not. And then we find whatever it is you want to work on. And we start small. We set a compass, as I call it. Set your direction. Because again, people want to go, okay, I had this goal and I got to reach it then and blah, 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 blah. It's like, well, Bessie, I kind of compare it to, I came up with this like GPS. When you put in something in your GPS, you have to put in an address, or sometimes at least very near, like the corner of this and this. And so, and then often it asks you, do you want a departure time or an arrival time? And sometimes the GPS gets thrown off if the satellite doesn't work or whatever. I mean, you can really get thrown off or there's a road closure. Instead of the GPS and having to be so exact, I know people say you got to know exactly what you want and typing it down, but take it back to just set your compass and what direction do you want to go? Because if you know you're heading north or south or whatever, you'll start coming up with the choices. Like, do I want to take this freeway? Do I want to go off on this frontage road? You start making the choices. Don't worry, they'll come up. And so set your compass first. What's your direction? What goal do you have? And then why? And I know you've heard this a million times, why, but we really go, well, why that? Well, because of this. Well, why that? Well, because of this. Well, why that? I mean, really filter it down. Why? Why? Your core reason why. Then that's your goal. That's your direction. And then we go ahead and set up the GPS. Okay, time, location, when, where, how are we going to execute it? What's going to activate it? We activate that action. Every action you take has an activator, whether it's subconscious or conscious. You have something that goes, I got to do this now. Like you have that in the morning. You know, I got to do this. I got to do that. Even if you think you have OCD, you're not scattered. You kind of have that routine. So there's always something that activates your brain. Now this, now this, now that. So we set up an activator that will work more than just the postcard and the alarm clock. Because a lot of people turn off the alarm clock and they don't go do that thing. Or the postcard just becomes part of, it's in front of your face and you ignore it. So we really set up what's going to activate that action. We boost your ability. Did you set yourself up in the right way? And we give you an instant reward. Celebrate it. So if with me, they celebrate it with me. They text me right away. Even
That's
if like,
great.
really, now that is not nagging. That is not keeping up on you. That is celebrating. That's why what I call celebrative accountability. We dance, we do a happy dance. Yay, woo, you, look at you, you did it. If they only want to go, done. I have clients that just give me that little emoji green check mark. That's fine. But you got to say it out loud because when I'm not around, get in the habit of celebrating yourself. Like, done, did it. Because when you say it out loud, again, your brain hears it, goes, yes, you did. Noted. So make it rewarding and then make that repetition support the repetition. And we go over all that in detail, whatever it is you're working. So once again, activator, boost your ability, make it rewarding, support the repetition.
Those are wonderful to hear because I mean, oh gosh, the celebrating ourselves, that is a wonderful way of putting it because it is. We forget to celebrate even the tiniest of things, you know? And I do have those dialogues with myself of where I feel all pumped up, just like you were saying. You go to like some big conference and it's this motivation thing and you're taking scrupulous notes and everyone's cheering and everyone's clapping. And then you get home and it's reality. And you're like, well, I don't have 350 people cheering with me anymore. So now what do I do?
I know.
Well, I did that for a week or I did that for 2 weeks. And then, you know, my dog got sick, my kid got expelled and, you know, and then all the noise of our world hops in and takes our self-care right out from underneath us. But we have the power to not allow that to happen. And so for me, I know that boundaries are a lot of part for me on changing some of my own habits because a lot of my habits are actually towards helping other people. And that is getting in the way of me on all kinds of realms, from borrowing money, or excuse me, from lending money to people to taking care of things. Yeah, exactly. Taking care of everybody else, taking care. And it's driving me bonkers because I'm like, I'm celebrating you right now because I helped you get there. I'm celebrating you right now because I helped you get there. I'm celebrating Ronnie right now because you helped this episode come to its fruition, right? And somewhere in there, I forget that I need to celebrate something. You know, it's nuts. I celebrate this show, though. This I celebrate. Yes. And I celebrate that my pain level has been dropping. That I'm celebrating. And a lot of that is because of the conversations that I'm having with people like you, where I'm picking up and I'm learning all of these new habits, if you will, to try to help my healing process be less overwhelming. And because when you're on the kind of path I'm at, you know, you're looking at your counter with like 17,000 different supplements and drops and shakes and this and that, you know, battling eating disorders, battling chronic pain, battling chronic illness, battling insomnia and anxiety and depression. I'm a great little package all tied up into a bow.
Oh, I know. And I hear you. I absolutely hear you. When you talked about motivation, I went on a rant one time on Instagram, and I'm not the type that goes on and does reels, but for some reason, I turned on my camera. I'm like, do you have a motive? Do you have a motive for wanting to do that? There's your motivation. Go.
Yeah.
Because we're always looking for motivation. No one's going to go behind you and prod you all day long.
No.
And the willpower. I'm so sick of hearing willpower. We're not in the military. We're not in boot camp. Willpower we have an infinite source of willpower. We just have to keep turning it on. We have to keep revving up that willpower. And after a while, it gets exhausting. Screw willpower. The most self-controlled people are the ones that don't need to control so much. Seriously, they don't need to turn on the willpower so much because they've got their habits in place. They align themselves and go back to boundaries. Boundaries are not for other people. They're not going to uphold your boundary. You can tell your friends about it and good for them if they support you. But, they kind of resist, and especially family. God love them and God love us because we do it too to our family members.
Yeah.
It is not up to other people to respect your boundaries. I know that sounds weird. It is up to us to uphold our boundaries.
Yes,
we set up that fence. We look over the fence, go, hi, neighbor. Oh, I'm going to go back in now. We have to maintain that fence for ourselves.
Yes.
And put it in a loving way to others. This is why. Share as much as you want, but it's up to you to hold up your boundaries for yourself. And and that's why I said you have to have that talk with your partner. You have to have that talk with your family so they understand that boundary. They get it.
And I love the way that you put that because it's exactly true. I always say, I am not in control of how somebody else is going to respond to anything in their life, whatever it is, whether I'm part of it or not part of it. I am not responsible for their reaction to something that happens in their own life, quite frankly, or in my life, and that's something in boundarying that is definitely a challenge for sure. But I love the way that you put that. So thank you. I needed to hear that a little bit today because I've got to boundary some people this afternoon.
Okay. Boundary yourself with those people.
Yes. Thank you. Okay. Boundary myself with these people. My eyes are closed and my fists are in a prayer-like manner right now because I need all the help I can get today and tomorrow. I am putting up boundaries for myself.
Women don't want to ask for help, even though we say we do. We say we're going to ask our friends. But your podcast also has served for people that get help from you because they don't want to talk about it because they're afraid their friends or their family or their partners are sick of hearing it, and they're not sick of hearing it, but we're afraid that they're sick of hearing it, or we just are sick of talking about it. But when they hear you, they're asking you for help. You don't even know that. You don't even know your listeners who are asking you for help, and then they're getting it from the variety of guests.
Well, that's the goal. I mean, that is, talk about waking up and what's my goal. That's my goal every morning of my life is somehow, some way, even if I touch one person and not in a gross way. Don't watch it, guys, with your mind in the gutter. No, I just wish that I could touch at least one person with each episode. And I for sure know that I have. And so with my goals in mind for the show, they're grand. We're just getting started here, guys.
I know.
You made me think of
something. I hope you don't mind me sharing, but I was washing the dishes yesterday, but I heard somebody once again say, this is my bias. Okay, this is my thing. So please forgive me. I don't mean to offend anybody. I respect your beliefs, all of them. Whether you're atheist, agnostic, Christian, Jewish, whatever it is, Buddhist, I respect all of them and I'm fascinated by different beliefs and I respect them. But myself, just me, just Ronnie, I don't believe that things happen for a reason. I really don't. I believe that things happen because of a reason. The randomness, it's odds, it's math, it's scientific, and damn it, F it. I am mad that I'm sick or whatever it is. But I thought of this. Mother Teresa came to mind because she was my North Star. I'm Catholic and I grew up Catholic. And I still go to church because I like the rituals. I just uphold the rituals of my parents and my grandparents. That's it, just because they're pretty. But, I really, really started to doubt my faith years ago. And when I read Mother Teresa's insights, she said that every single day of her life, she doubts her faith.
Wow.
And I was like, oh my gosh,
holy
she's
crap, if she can well, you just made a lot of people in their cars very happy, Ronnie.
Because you know why? Because she doubted the religion and did it anyway. She went and made her purpose, just like you're making your podcast your purpose, you say?
Mm-hmm.
She made it her purpose to go out and reach out and feed the hungry and talk about it and advocate and keep going out there She made her poverty a purpose. She made her doubt a purpose. She didn't believe in God half the time, and she admitted it. But she believed in the tenets of it, so that became her why. So I'm bringing this back to this. We may not know why we have whatever it is we have, MS, what you have, or lupus, or the thing that they can't. I have 5 herniated discs, and I have a whole bunch of things that just add up, right? I don't know. I'm not going to say, well, God made me this way for a purpose. I don't think so.
No.
I think it happened, and I'm going to give it a purpose. I'm going to do something about it and with it.
Like I say, I'm giving my pain purpose. That is my line. That's my tagline, because the other way sucks. And I did the other way. And it's a very scary place to not give your pain purpose, to let it completely devour you and take your soul away from you and exhaust you and, right? It's exhausting. And so giving it purpose gives the pain meaning to me, right? I wake up with it and it's there.
Do you ever get angry about feeling the way you feel when you feel down or bad?
I don't deal with a lot of anger about my pain. Yeah.
Good.
Sadness for sure. Grief for sure. A little bit of self-doubt as to why it all happened, I guess, because I definitely know that things in my 20s have caught up with me. I think a lot of people can identify with that. But when it comes to my particular health and the issues that are within me, there were things that were done in my 20s, basically, mostly my 20s, that I have no regret, but absolutely have led to me in my healthcare for sure. So I get angry with myself about my past, which is stupid because I can't change it. I can just make it better, go forward. But anyways, we don't need to get more onto that because we already have to kick the can down the street.
Yeah, and I guess some people get angry, and a lot of people say, "Why me? Why me?"
Yeah,
and other people are like, "Oh, well, good, because God gave you a purpose to do with this. It's God's plan." If you want to believe that, then it's your truth. Yes,
sure.
Maybe God gave you that, and then what do I do with this? What does He want me to do with it, or she, or whatever? What does the universe want me to do? What do I want to do with this? And you really do. Not to sound all Yoda-ish, but if you really dig deep down, you know what you want to do with it. The answer is within you. You don't have to wait for a sign. You decide, what is it that I truly believe I can do and want to do with this?
It's wonderful. Where can we find you online, my girl?
Ronnie Lo, it's just my last name, Loaiza. So Ronnie Lo Life Coach is my website. Ronnie, RONNIELO, Life Coach. It's all one word, but it'll be on your show notes. RonnieLoLifeCoach.com, my website. And that's really my handle everywhere. Instagram, Facebook. I have a Facebook group full of wonderful women. So look for me in there. And that's it. My social platform, Ronnie Lo Life Coach.
I love it. Thank you so much. Is there anything that you'd like to leave our listeners with before we jam on out of here?
You can be set in your ways. I'm 58, turning 59 this summer. You can be set in your ways. We're all set in our ways, but you don't have to be stuck.
I love it so very much. Thank you so much for your time with me today, Ronnie. I'm sure we'll be talking soon.
Okay. Enjoy your massage and your mom.
Oh my goodness. Thank you. Yeah. Only women do birth months, by the way. Oh man, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much, Ronnie. You are exclusively invited to share this celebrating yourself, taking care of yourself with new habits, tiny habits that will go forever for you guys. Let's get to the heart of how to heal with you by my side. Do you know anybody that needed to hear this conversation today? I know there are bits and pieces throughout it, even though I'd already met her, that I needed to get from this episode today. But if you do, take it all in with you. Ronnie and I are here for you. If you have any questions about anything, we will have everything in show notes, have everything up on social for you guys, so you can always find Ronnie. Welcome to the Pain Game Podcast. That's what we're here for, right? Let's connect together and hear your stories of strength and grit. I am here to provide you with a safe space to be vulnerable and honest while sharing your powerfully amazing stories. Please follow us at thepaingamepodcast.com or wherever you digest your podcast content. We will be there. Visit us at thepaingamepodcast.com and follow us on all the socials. Thanks for listening, my little VIPs. Catch you on the other side.